Merry Christmas, World Wide Web users, and hello. 3 hoes, probably a home invasion, and a night later, it is now Christmas morning. Let us sit around the Christmas tree as we celebrate the coming and going of the fat gift giver that mysteriously puts our parents under more financial stress than the rest of the year combined. And what better way to do that than by opening up your presents and finding a plethora of video games? Holiday releases. Video games that release around the holidays. More or less. Big developers often always release a game sometime in the 2 months before Christmas in order to capitalize on the biggest time for the buying of video games. It's a market strategy that's worked time and time again. Sometimes. A holiday release doesn't always guarantee a game will do well. Some small indie companies release games around Christmas, hoping for them to blow up with the Christmas rush, but get overshadowed by other games. While Among Us released for mobile on June 15th, 2018, it didn't really gain the notoriety Innersloth had hoped for. So they then released the game on Steam and itch.io on November 16th, just in time for the holiday rush. For $5. Also, the mobile game was free. Needless to say, the game didn't do very well for a while, but that's not to say the game was a complete failure. It was just a failure at launch. Later in 2020, the game garnered immense popularity from big-name streamers to the point where it practically ruined multiple words in the English language over a universally known meme involving the terms suspicious and imposter. However, at its launch, it got practically overshadowed by everything else, and being a port of a free mobile game didn't help its case much. That year saw several big releases in time for the holidays. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Spyro Reignited Trilogy, Red Dead Redemption 2, Fallout 76, Dragon Quest XI, Smash Ultimate, Spider-Man, so many huge namestays releasing all that year. Among Us didn't stand a chance. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Metroid Dread released on October 8th this year and has since went on to sell over 1 million copies in what felt like a short 2 months. By now, sales are estimated to be anywhere from 1 to 2 million copies, which is monumental for a Metroid game. The Metroid franchise has lain dormant for a while now, due to newer games just not selling well, but Dread brought the dying series back into the spotlight in spectacular fashion. Through a strategic release date, winning an award at the Game Awards, and just overall good game design, Metroid Dread has managed to do incredibly well this holiday season. Every kid's Christmas list is lined with the game all over. This was a very smart opportunity Nintendo saw and took to revive an old franchise millions of fans were waiting for the return of, and then release it during the gift-giving season so all the fans that wanted it and all the newcomers to the franchise could wake up Christmas morning and have this game laying at their feet. Sometimes developers aim for holiday releases instead of letting the game come along naturally, and through that, the game loses some quality that it should have had. Instead of aiming for quality, they aim for sales. The Pokemon franchise is pretty infamous for doing this every year. An infamous example of this is Sword and Shield, released November 15th, 2019. The game went unfinished so it could release for the holidays, and then later added several unnecessary pieces of DLC padding to make up for the fact that the base game had less single-player content than Pokemon Red, one of the original games on the Game Boy Color. They cut Pokemon from the game, claiming that it would be too much to redesign each and every Pokemon with new models and textures, yet the Pokemon they didn't cut reused their old models and textures from the previous 3D games, which completely voids their reasoning for cutting those other Pokemon from the game. This isn't all. The Diamond and Pearl remakes released with a good number of bugs and glitches, including but not limited to crashes, Pokemon duplication, out-of-bounds glitches galore, etc. At the end of the day, Sword and Shield and the Diamond and Pearl remakes aren't bad games, not at all. just that they had moments that were unnecessarily unpolished and worse than they needed to be. When a game is rushed to meet a deadline because it's believed it will sell better if it releases then rather than later during a release date that would be expected of a project that large, it just shows that sometimes these companies know they can get away with rushing a game because it's releasing during the holiday season, when plenty of people just want to get their hands on something new with their favorite word on it. All this to say a game sales doesn't always determine its quality. A game releasing during an active consumer period with name recognition doesn't mean the product you're getting will actually be the product you were supposed to get, especially considering had they released it 6 months later, it would have been, even if it didn't immediately sell as well as it would have during Christmas season. So Christmas releases are a slippery slope of sorts. Assuming they put the time and passion required into the game beforehand, releasing a game on Christmas can up your chances of the game selling comparably well, at least if it has recognition. On the other hand, making a game specifically to release on a holiday, or making a game release on a holiday because it might sell better, can mess with the development process and leave the game in a worse state of release than had it released later. Speaking of the holidays, it's been a long year, hasn't it? I know I don't usually get personal in each video. This is totally breaking character, but this has been a long year, and I just want to check up on y'all. A lot has happened in my life. I survived a pretty bad car accident, came out just fine, no injuries. I got accepted into college. I played some pretty awesome games like Monster Hunter Rise and Metroid Dread. I got to meet up with some friends and family that I haven't seen for a while. I released actual music under my artist name, which is pretty cool. Now we're here. The end of the year is almost here. I know seasonal depression can be pretty bad for some of y'all sometimes. If you're spending the holiday by yourself for whatever reason, whether it be COVID or other more personal reasons, just know you're not the only one. There are people that want to talk to you and people that want to see you, and I just hope you know that. Well, this year I didn't make as much content as I hoped I would, because school got in the way, but that's alright. Next year I hope I can make a lot more. Anyways, happy holidays, and see you then. Peace. Good morning and Merry Christmas. As of recording this message, it is 12:04 in the morning, December 25th. This video took so long to make for no reason. Like, I spent 3 days straight in my room just editing it. Anyways, more stuff coming really, really soon. Alright, bye.